Okay, Stuart, obviously this is an international week, so a week off for City, but there's still been a lot of talk in and around the club about Carlos Tevez. What's the latest on that?
Well, we're just waiting for the internal review to conclude. That's expected today or tomorrow. And then once that is concluded, City will decide what disciplinary action, if any, they need to take against the player. Obviously, the waters were muddied somewhat yesterday as Tevez's advisor, Kia Joorabchian, spoke at a conference in London, suggesting that the interpreter had misinterpreted Tevez's words during the post-match interview. I mean, that post-match interview is crucial to the whole case because in it, Tevez appears to admit that he did refuse to go onto the pitch. Now, Joorabchian is disputing that, claiming that it was the interpreter who translated both the question and Tevez's answer incorrectly. But it just seems that everybody, all kinds of media outlets have had it translated, and they all come to the same conclusion that Tevez did appear to admit that he refused to go onto the pitch. And Joorabchian is pointing the finger, saying that the interpreter wasn't very professional and that he himself speaks Spanish and English. But you maybe have to question how professional an interpreter Kia Joorabchian is.
Okay, and then whatever the rights and wrongs of this whole Tevez saga, whatever happens, do you think there's a danger of the whole thing negatively affecting City on the pitch?
Well, no signs of that at Blackburn. I think players are quite fair by and large, and I think they also tend to get on with things no matter what's going on around the club. If they felt that Tevez has been dealt a big injustice and he's been hard done to, that might be disruptive, but it doesn't seem to be the case. I think the players have been recognise the fact that if a player does seem to refuse to go onto the pitch, that he's out of line. They've got a job to do. They've got to get on with their own careers, and they've got to get on with promoting City's cause. And they're in a great position. It's the best start for I think 114 years to a league season for City. So they'd have to be mad fools to throw that away just because of one man's actions.
Sure. I mean, assuming, or not assuming, but if things were to go sort of south with Tevez and he did end up getting moved on, do you think Mancini would look to bring in another striker, or do you think he's got enough depth there already?
I think he'd probably have to look to get somebody else in. You always talk about 4 strikers as being the optimum, especially if you're operating on 2 fronts, Champions League and the Premier League, not to mention the Carling Cup and the FA Cup. There are obviously other players still on the books. They signed a young lad from Milan, Lucas Capuzzi, over the summer. Well, I don't think he's ready for that challenge yet. A couple of players who are out on loan. Rocky Santa Cruz has been getting a lot of football under his belt at Real Betis. He scored a couple of goals, so I'm not sure what the terms of his loan deal to Betis are, but you can never rule it out, because I know that Roberto really likes Roque as a man and as a professional. So I'm sure that'll be one possible option. I can't see it myself because I think his day is done. But you never can tell in football. And the other one, perhaps John Guidetti, who's at Feyenoord on loan. Again, that might have to be examined. But I would imagine, looking at it longer term, they would want a 4th striker, but that would depend on Tevez being sold. If Tevez was sold, I think they would buy somebody else in. If Tevez is just left out on the vine for the rest of the season, I think they may just muddle and make do. They've got players who can fill in. If you play 1 striker and 3 in behind, as City have been doing, they've got the likes of Samir Nasri and Silva and Adam Johnson. They've got several. And Yaya Toure can step up to that position. They've got several players who can all join in and be an attacking force.
Sure. Okay, and just finally, it's kind of the calm before the storm in playing terms of City at the moment with the international break, but then it all comes on pretty strong throughout the second half of October.
Yeah, it does. It's game after game after game. It's never ending. Champions League, Premier League, there's Carling Cup games thrown in there. But this is why City have a squad of that size. so that they can cope. I mean, it's imperative that Sergio Aguero and Mario Balotelli, who've both withdrawn from their international squads with injury this week, it's imperative that they get them fit. We've been told that neither of them is too serious, but we've heard that one before, and then, you know, injuries can run on and on, so there'll be a lot of fingers being crossed at Carrington at the moment that those two are going to be okay, because it is a crucial phase from now until the run up to Christmas.
Great stuff. Okay, thanks very much, Stuart.